смысле, что я имею в виду? Давайте еще.
Dear colleagues, hello everybody. Thank you for joining our seminar today. Today our topic is brand research in the connected world, and Stanislav Moiseev will present the summary of the article Branding in a Hyperconnected World, Refocusing Theories and Rethinking Boundaries. So please, Stanislav, the floor is yours.
I just said that we may wait for another 2 minutes. So and we announced that working English of this seminar is English, so I'm going to present in English. But I suppose that in the section of discussion, you may ask questions also in Russian. But we just expect that somebody who may read announcement about our seminar, who do not speak Russian and who expected to listen to it afterwards, may be dissatisfied if I will present in Russian. Okay, so it's 5 minutes past 6, so I suppose we are going to start right now. Just a second. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, so today we are going to talk about challenges with which researchers are facing now because our world has changed significantly, and therefore brand conceptualizations and brand studies they also have to change or even have to. And I found this article, this one, devoted to the analysis of branding in hyperconnected world, actually because of one of the authors. It is Brent Schmidt, who in early 90s, he developed a concept of experience marketing. And he usually treated as founding father of huge area of experience marketing, which appeared decades later. And also he is, in some sense, founding father of quite big area of customer experience research, because customer experience, in some sense, is a part of more wide concept of brand experience. And I followed him, and I just noticed that he has this publication titled "Branding in Hyperconnected World," and I just I saw that it might be interesting to share some ideas from this article with our community. Yeah, and today we are going to talk about 4 topics. First of all, I would like to share with you different brand conceptualizations. Actually, I was surprised that there are several areas of brand theories, and there are several brand conceptualization, and it's, I suppose, would be also interesting to you. And the main idea of article is that we need to develop new conceptualization, and that we need to change our ideas about brand and brand management. Then I will say a few words about hyperconnected world, how it's treated, how we could define it, and of course, we will finish with some consequences, right? So what does it mean for brand and branding really, And then I will just have one slide as discussion section, and I would love to exchange opinions with you about what we may or should do as researchers to face with new challenges associated with changing area of brands and brand management. So please feel free to ask any question while I will speak, because we will have kind of talking seminar today. But if you will have some questions which I would say is more suitable for discussion, I will ask you just to remember it, or we will write it in our Zoom chat, and then we will come back to it. So, talking about brand conceptualization, we can say that there are generally three perspectives, which are commonly appear in literature about brand research. First perspective, I suppose it's most well known is theory perspective. And I suppose it appeared firstly in practice and in literature. It is all about, first of all, strategic approach. I suppose that you may hear something about brand pyramid or brand K or brand something else. Everything which is associated with brand architecture. When we are talking about brand company mission, when we are talking about company values, when we are talking about key attributes, personification, I'm sorry, and so on and so on. It is strategic approach which suggests different tools and vision of brand as something which might be constructed by firm and which is managed by firm. And all these frameworks which I just listed, case, pyramids, and so on, they just appeared in this area of strategic approach to branding. So financial approach is more direct. It is all about brand value. Nowadays, value of different brands is measured by money, like usually in dollars, and usually in millions or millions of dollars. And some companies, I know, at least one in Russia, for example, they're trying to estimate brand value, and they are trying to estimate impact which brand value may have on value of firm, right, or price of firm in the open market. Yeah. So customer perspective, it is something which is more common for us, for researchers, because strategic approach is mostly an area of brand managers and strategists and creators. Financial approach is mainly area of consultants and auditors. Customer perspective suggests also two approaches to brand conceptualization. First of all is economic approach, but here brand is treated as a signal for customer in complex world, and this signal helps customer to navigate through different products and different services which are now in our century exist on the open market. And in that sense, brand help you to make more or less tough decision. Yeah, because you know, for example, that I don't know, Apple is a very good brand, and Apple shows very good to its audience why it creates very good and high quality products. And I will not, for example, spend any minute to choose which smartphone or which laptop I would like to buy, because I know that Apple is a strong brand, and I believe that products of Apple are great. So all other brands in this category, like Samsung or I don't know, Microsoft, they work the same way. So they help us to make decisions. I don't know why authors decided to categorize it as economic approach, but it's just how they treat it. Psychological approach is all about perception of brand. When we're talking about brand mindshare, when we're talking about emotions which are associated with brand, when we're talking about different scales which might be used to assess whether people tend to remember or not to remember brand name, and so on and so on. It's all about everything which is associated with personal perception of brand. And branding is everything which appeared and developed in psychological approach. And usually, for example, when you face with Q&A questionnaires about how people perceive some brands in category, it is based on some insights from psychological brand conceptualization, because it's some object which might be perceived by a customer. And the last perspective, which was kind of, was in some sense surprising for me, it is something about sociological and cultural approach to branding. It's surprising because I did not expect that sociology of brands and brands exist, but it is here on the slide. So basically, sociological approach to brand treats brand as a social construct, right? And people who study brand as sociologists, they're trying to describe and analyze this process of construction of meaning. So in some sense, yeah, it's on the basis of this sociological approach, of course, we will find constructivist ideas and this constructivist theories. Yeah, and also generally, I suppose that this sociological approach is, in some sense, it's relates to this strategic approach, which was the first, because in some sense, sociologists, they are dealing with products of work of strategists, right, who are trying to create some meaning. And cultural approach, it's also something common for people who studied sociology or anthropology. It is all about understanding brand as their construct and as a part of our cultural background, and it's also study people who are develop this approach right now. They are trying to understand the brand as a cultural product, how it's created, how it's developed, and so on. So basically, authors of a paper about future of branding, they stated that yes, there are at least 6 approaches, and which could be grouped into 3 perspectives that exist right now in literature, and in some sense they are not up to date. They must be developed because world changed significantly, and we need to do something with that. So how it changed, right? What does it mean that we live in hyperconnected world, and what consequences we might face with in that sense? I will also have 3 main points here. I tried to construct presentation in that way that you may expect something from me. Of course, first important property of hyperconnected world is connectivity. You may know this famous example of famous experiment of Milgram and his research group conducted in last century in States, where they try to empirically estimate degrees of separation which separate people one from other, right? What they did, they asked people from like East Coast to send somehow send a letter to somebody from West Coast, but they did not give like final addresses. They just asked to send the letter to the closest person who might get it further, right? And basically, what they get finally, that mean degree of separation was 6. Yeah, that's usually the time in states you would need like 6 different person to reach somebody you even don't know, right? So each other connected no longer than through the 6 degrees of separation. Research which was conducted by Facebook in 2011, already like almost 10 years ago, shows that nowadays we have no more than 4.74 degrees of separation. Yeah, and I suppose last 10 years helped to decrease even this number. What does it mean in sense of branding? It means that actually information spreads very fast, yeah, and actually we can observe very fast change of brand meaning, because something may happen, something bad or something good also, and it will directly and immediately affect brand value, brand perception, brand position in the category of different brands. And also it is associated with another property, which is decentralization, right? Because nowadays we are, as customers or clients, we are all participate in decentralized network of production of meaning of brands. Here, just small example of customizable products like this Nike. You can see on your screen slogan, how to Nike be yours. Like you may just customize some models from Nike sneakers, and it's just easy like that, this Zoom talk. But also this co-creation is more complex process. For example, researchers who study brand meaning construction, they suppose nowadays that actually many people who mention brands in social media, they actually participate in co-creation of meaning, right? So when I'm leaving some review on this market, or when I'm discussing how awful was that I don't know flower store on the Barricadne, I'm create. I add some meaning to the meaning of brand which company is trying to create. So it means that actually firms and companies, they lost monopoly on the construction of their image, right? So we live in a world of co-creation, and people co-create everything. And in our times of social isolation and appearance of these metaverses, we already have some examples, like when people create cities around some brands. I know that at least one ecosystem in Russia, it was trying to recreate like city which would represent each company in that ecosystem in Minecraft, right? So people can build in Minecraft everything. So they even can build a city associated with brand. And you cannot restrict people in Minecraft. They will build whatever they want, whatever they like, and whatever they want to see, right? So it's co-creation, and also believe in the area of mediated communication, right? And so here, right? What is happening nowadays? So if you will look into the schemes of mediated communication from 60s, what you will see? You will see know that communication is mediated through different channels like television, right? Like newspapers, like advertising on the streets, and so on. Nowadays, actually, our communication with brands is also mediated, for example, by different voice assistants. And Siri, Alexa, Salute by Sber, Alisa, and others, they are also participate in co-creation of meaning of brand, right? And you cannot really control what's I don't know, Oleg, which is voice assistant of Tikov, will say to you, to your customer. You cannot control what Siri would say. And sometimes when I conduct workshop or seminar, my Siri on my Apple Watch can say something, something good or something not very appropriate to the context. And so it's happening now, and so everything becomes very complex. We generally now we live in very complex and highly connected network, right? Which is usually called small world network, when we live in connected, highly connected clusters, which are connected with also with each other, like on this scheme or from Watson's progress. And yeah, now our communication is mediated through different technologies, and it's not only screens but also voices now. Yeah, and I for example even make call from one smart device to other smart device, and just talk with my voice assistant. So yeah, all this of course it's not only about hyperconnectivity. I just add some ideas about decentralization and mediation here because I suppose it's crucial. But everything, all this, it creates important context in which brands exist and in which they are created nowadays. So, what about consequences? What is happening with brands, and how brands are changing nowadays? Basically, authors suggest such scheme, right? They say that, okay, we can observe at least two consequences for brands in this context. First of all, is blurring of brand, right? Because initial boundaries of brands do not relevant anymore, right? Second, we can observe it's horizontal line here, broadening of brand, right? We can observe that actually, we cannot say that brand is a property of some company anymore. No, we can see other types of brands, and it is also important. So let's just go through the scheme. First of all, what we got like I don't know, 30, 40 years ago, we just had some brands which were developed and suggested by one firm, one company, like Volkswagen, right? Well-known brands still exist. Some of you may just now you may even remember slogan "Das Auto," right? And yeah, it's very strong brands all over the world, and its competitors like BMW, Mercedes, and others. And it is traditional, right? Of course, you may also participate in some co-creation of Volkswagen brand meaning, but nevertheless, it appeared in time when people just did not have such opportunities like now to create, for example, logo or meaning of brand itself. Here is logo of Yandex Market, right? And Yandex Market, it's an example of brand platform which includes not only consumers and fear, but also market participants who, for example, sell different goods for us. All other platforms like Facebook, like Contacti, or like I don't know, Amazon, or like eBay, or AliExpress, they all function the same. Many different stakeholders they just face with each other on these platforms, and they all they are all. It's happened that they are co-creating meaning of the brands, and you can see citation here that growing number of researchers, they document the effects of this loss of control of brand meaning and brand experience creation, right? Which means that, yeah, companies, do not have this monopoly on brand meaning creation. And in some sense, it's good because now we live in more decentralized world. In some sense, it's bad for, like, first, because, if you will go to the beginning of our discussion, we talked about brand value. If you are not the only one who can affect on your brand value, you may lose some money because of some people who just want you to grow your brand value, right? Yeah, and of course, we can observe a lot of not firms but people who are becoming brands right now. It is just one of many others, like Kim Kardashian or Ksenia Sobchak, or I don't know, Dava, right? People who are selling their personalities as brands, and who create their brands by their own, yeah, without any traditional strategic approaches which were developed in half past or in second part of last century, right? And of course, we also can talk today about idea brands. Idea brands, it's like some companies which may take place in the social media. Like here, I just put example of quite famous company, media company, Me Too, which happened several years ago already, which was associated with rights of women who suffered from domestic violence. And so this actually idea brands, they treat it as, some brands which do not have like some personality or firm or company behind. They just exist as idea, like meme, right? And they also now compete for our attention, and they also took part in this process of meaning creation. And of course, companies, they have to take it into account. And now, just imagine that actually all this happening in one moment. For example, right? We may let's talk about some brands which we know. For example, I already mentioned Sberbank here, right? Sberbank is actually a traditional firm with traditional brand, which was created by stakeholders, right? Of course, with their feedback from customers. But now Sberbank has some platforms like Sber Market or Sber Mega Market, which works on their other way. And also it works with person brands like Philip Kirkorov or Vera Brezhneva or Daniel Lokhin or others. And also it might participate in some social campaigns and also associate itself with idea brands. So nowadays, we can also really talk about blurring of boundaries of brand, because we can't really say what influenced on its meaning, and how, for example, collaboration of I don't know, Alpha Bank with this nice guy Morgenstern, how its effect on brand value. Yeah, so everything is quite complicated nowadays, and that's why, of course, it looks like we as researchers, we might suggest some new tools and new conceptualizations of what's happening in this area, and help dozens of practitioners to deal with it. Yeah, and talking about discussion, yeah, about what we might suggest if we see that here world has changed and we observe some consequences here. I have at least 3 suggestions here, and at least 2 of them, yeah, they based on the ideas in this nice paper about future of branding. Of course, first of all, we are here on the seminar of ANR-Lab, right? Laboratory for Applied Network Research. And we, I suppose, might think about new brand metrics, and probably they might be network metrics. Here on this slide, you can see just an example of two-mode network of it's map of Russian ecosystems, which this map was created, almost 2 years ago, and basically today many brands which are have sub-brands and they need to deal with them somehow. In Russia, we know at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 5 big ecosystems. And in the world, you know, yes, Google, Microsoft, Apple, many companies which create many products, and somehow they need to measure effects. How, for example, change of brand value of Google Assistant affect on brand value of Google, or how change of brand value of Amazon Prime, its subscription of Amazon, can affect on brand value of Amazon Store, right? Or Amazon Book, and so on. Of course, also, it looks like this new era of brand meaning co-creation requires new brand and strength, probably monitoring tools. Yeah. Nowadays, it's possible to conduct strength monitoring and brand perception monitoring even on daily basis, on the basis of social media analysis, of course. And it's a huge area which is developing nowadays, and it's huge area not only in brand management, it's huge area in science, because in Russia and all over the world, a lot of different algorithms and packages for text analysis developed just for this goal to help to analyze how brand perception changing over time, and time is like right now. Yeah, and of course it's all requires new approaches to data visualization. Authors of paper which we are talking about today, they suggest, that we really need dashboards, right? Interactive dashboards which people who are in charge of brand management, they can look through, they can analyze, they can see what happened right now or yesterday or a week before, and how it might affect or affected already to our brand value, and so on and so on and so on. So, and actually, of course, I didn't put it here, but we need to develop new brand conceptualization, because Zygmunt Bauman suggested this concept of liquid modernity, right? And in some sense, brand borders do not exist anymore, and we can also treat brand meaning as something liquid, right? Something which has meaning which changes over time, and it's changing with help of many stakeholders. And it's not just brand pyramid or brand scale, which you just develop and say that our mission is like this. No, it doesn't work anymore, and we somehow on the theoretical level also have to take it into account. Yeah. So it was last slide in my presentation, almost last one is this about just like the first one. I would happy to hear the questions from you, and I would love to hear some suggestions or just comments on what you hear just in last 30 minutes.
Stas, thank you very much. Colleagues, do you have any questions? I have a question, like, do you have some critique with the authors of the article?
Excuse me, am I hear you right? Do you have some critique from authors of the article?
Yeah, some critique points with from the article, or
yeah. So my main critical points, I suppose, would be like from the name of the article, you can expect that they would suggest some program, right, of analysis of brands in hyperconnected world. But actually, while you read the article, you understand that this area is too huge, and you cannot just put all this into one paper. And I did not feel when I read the article that they actually succeeded in dealing with this huge area. I suppose it would be main point of my critique, and but I found a lot of important sources for myself in this, and I suppose they did a great job because. And I really happy that somebody really studied brands as like social construct or something like that, because it was surprising for me. Yeah, not too much critique from me. Thank you for your question.
Hi everyone. Should we ask questions in English, right?
So you may ask question in Russian, I suppose.
Okay, but I can in English. В общем, всем доброго вечера. У меня вопрос такой: было ли исследование, какие-нибудь ли исследования, которые бы доказывали о негативном влиянии гиперсвязанности в мире? То есть имеется ли какой-то обратный эффект, например, что экосистема может, скажем, наоборот, отталкивать пользователей, нежели чем привлекать за счет как бы потери фокуса. То есть обилие сервисов и обилие предложений, и экосистема, она будет просто перегружать там, сенсорно или информационно людей, вызывая тем самым отторжение. Были ли, может быть, какие-нибудь такие исследования, как противовес тому, что вот все идет к связности?
Ну, я отвечу по-русски тоже, раз вопрос был на русском. Ну, тут два вопроса, на самом деле. То есть есть какие-то негативные последствия у вот этой вот гиперсвязанности. Ну, скажем так, ну, невозможно их оценить, потому что мир изменился весь полностью сразу. То есть невозможно себе представить эксперимент, в котором мы поместили всю ситуацию, не знаю, массового общества 20 века и проверили, как там оно было бы. То есть это как бы, не совсем реалистичный план. Но вот что касается вопросов, связанных с эффектом, который экосистемы оказывают на, например, на восприятие себя. То есть я не сталкивался прям конкретно с исследованиями, прям что вот прям были статьи, но я почему-то думаю, что они точно есть, потому что, по крайней мере, ну, то, что слышно в экспертном поле, ну, формирование, например, сети брендов в этой системе – это огромный риск. В первую очередь для материнского бренда. Ну и есть разные стратегии, которые фирмы предпринимают для того, чтобы с этими рисками работать. Например, есть Google, да, который сказал: слушайте, нам важно, чтобы наши компании росли. И мы не будем создавать какую-то единую систему брендов и ограничивать их. Единственное, что будет связано с брендом Google, это цвета. И вы их все видели. Это там вот это желтый, зеленый, синий и так далее. 5 штук их. И все. И ну, как бы, с одной стороны, они никак не сдерживают, например, рост молодых брендов тем, что есть там Google, и Google можно только вот так написать, и все. Но с другой стороны, есть куча компаний, их сотни, которые вообще никак не связаны с Google, они не работают на усиление материнского бренда. Да? Там, есть другие кейсы в России, да, когда компании, наоборот, специально говорят: слушайте, нет, вот мы все будем так называться, но при этом это создает риски для разных саббрендов, потому что есть, например, молодые, которым нужно там больше дерзости, больше места занимать на рекламных логотипах, а так нельзя делать, потому что есть общий фрейм. А есть там устоявшиеся, которым это окей. Вот такие вот точно есть истории. Ну и точно понятно, что обилие микробрендов создает риски огромные, репутационные для больших брендов, которые их порождают. Потому что если ты Яндекс что-нибудь, если случается Яндекс где-то, Яндекс что-то, это влияет на Яндекс в целом. Вот, условно говоря, так.
Окей, спасибо.
Спасибо за презентацию большое. У меня тоже вопрос такой есть. Мы говорили про подходы, кажется, на втором слайде, и вот там есть 6 подходов, они группируются примерно вот в 3 группы. Я хотела спросить, может быть, в чем-то опыте были такие исследования, кто-нибудь проводил исследования бренда, допустим, с помощью социологического или культурного подхода именно вот в прикладном поле, чтобы вот заказчик пришел и вот решили провести именно такое исследование, потом это как-то использовалось. Бывало ли такое, что вот прям какую-то социологическую теорию под прикладное исследование, ну, закладывалось внутрь?
Ну, скажем так, сам по себе этот социологический подход, он предполагает, что бренд есть конструкт. И это как бы предел теоретизирования на этом уровне, насколько я понял. Да? То есть не то, что мы берем, не знаю, Бергера и Лукмана и пытаемся вот на таком уровне конструктивизма это как-то описать. Да? Но, по сути, любое исследование восприятия бренда, оно содержит в себе как минимум 3 составляющие. Это стратегический подход, это психологический подход и социологический подход. Потому что анкета, например, структурируется обычно в логике элементов бренда. То есть, например, миссия, ключевые атрибуты, ну, и какие другие элементы, которые там могут быть, черты персонификации. Мы при этом изучаем как конструирование восприятия, мы же изучаем, как люди себе это представляют. Это и есть как бы элемент социологического подхода здесь. Вот. Ну и часто там есть элементы, вот, связанные там, с mindshare, какими-то историями, которые отходят от психологической истории. И мы предполагаем на подкорке, что мы занимаемся брендингом, потому что вот людям выбирать проще будет, да, ведь и это, по сути, такая составляющая экономического подхода. Вот. Ну, например, для того, чтобы оценивать бренд value, естественно, используются в том числе социологические инструменты, потому что часть бренд value связана, например, с позицией, которую бренд занимает в рынке, а ее по-другому не оценить никак, потому что если мы говорим именно про потребительские бренды, про B2C. Вот. То есть я думаю, что ответ на вопрос – да. Кто-то берет и постоянно так делает. Просто это не очень не выглядит так фундаментально, может быть, как хотелось бы. Вот. Либо, если мы говорим про такое чисто социологическое исследование, где мы говорим, что есть группа стейкхолдеров, да, которые как-то вот воспринимают эту историю, и посмотрим, как это все выглядит. Но такого, наверное, реже происходит. Такое. Но, с другой стороны, вот, какие-то фундаментальные исследования, такие большие, ну, например, там, при ребрендинге, они как бы предполагают, что ты всех стейкхолдеров охватываешь. И там, акционеров, собственников, правления, топ-менеджмент, людей, клиентов, B2C и B2B, сотрудников. Ну, чем не социологический подход в этом смысле. Вот.
Окей, спасибо за ответ.
Я тоже задам вопрос на русском языке. Мне вот стало интересно, вот этот подход гиперсвязанности, не подход, может быть, параметр, какой-то общий критерий, признак для брендов сегодня. Можно ли его как-то соотнести не только с такими глобальными брендами, вроде Google, даже там Сбербанк, Сбер в смысле, или Яндекс, а с какими-то локальными брендами?
Конечно. Авторы показывают, что в современном мире процесс производства брендов, ну, он иной. Возьмем монеточку. Возможно, вы слышали про такую певицу. Да? Ну, как ее бренд появился, да? Ну, Елизавета писала песни и публиковала их ВКонтакте. Да? То есть идея автора в том, что, в принципе, даже производство бренда, то есть как бы это было бы раньше, да? Был бы музыкальный лейбл, к нему пришла бы девушка, которая неплохо поет и, видимо, пишет интересные тексты, появился бы продюсер, они бы сделали бы тату, да? Как тату появилось? Вот были продюсеры, они решили, давайте сделаем бренд, это будет группа, которая эксплуатирует образ гомосексуальных отношений между двумя женщинами, да, и на этом сделаем, так сказать, value proposition для своей аудитории. Вот. А сейчас по-другому. И вот, ну, это же, ну, как бы, ну, уже монеточка, это уже большой, но очень локальный бренд. И, то есть, в принципе, да, например, как сейчас люди на Авито начинают продавать какие-то вещи, да, и какой-то в своей какой-то локальной зоне формируют какой-то для себя образ или имидж хорошего профессионала. Или, например, всякие сервисы типа Работа.ру, где вот можно, если я не путаю ничего, где можно, в общем, найти
Проферу,
да-да-да. То есть это же в чистом виде уже какая-то другая история про то, что ты, там, не имея, например, бренда какой-то фирмы, там, не знаю, там, ремонтник Москва, можешь стать признанным профессионалом, имея хороший рейтинг. То есть другие вообще механизмы работают. Тут понятно, что мы тут, ну, как бы можем немножечко выходить за границы этой статьи, потому что я какие-то примеры широкие очень привожу. Но это работает, в общем, для всего. Самое это как раз, что они говорят, что это работает уже, ну, по-другому, новые бренды по-другому появляются. Все. Неважно, это большой бренд или небольшой. Процесс другой контекст, другие правила.
Да, круто, спасибо. Коллеги,
Спасибо.
есть ли еще какие-то вопросы?
Okay, if we don't have any questions, for those who I hope will listen for us in English, if you will need, we will send you a transcription of our discussion of these questions in English. Yeah, just write us. Теперь мы будем знать, были ли кто-нибудь, кто смотрел на английском, но до конца. Вот. Друзья, спасибо огромное за внимание, за ваше время. Очень приятно было поделиться. Надеюсь, это будет полезно. И спасибо огромное за вопросы.
Да, спасибо большое. Очень интересно было. Спасибо.
Да, до встречи.
Хорошего
Спасибо,
вечера.
до встречи.
Да, всем до встречи.